Hello and welcome to Lynchburg Live. I'm your host, Linda Smith. Once in a rare while, a person comes along who is a leader in many positive community building projects and his own personal endeavors. They stand out and become not only entrepreneurs, but also role models and inspirations to the community in general. My guest tonight is Tony Camm, and he's just that kind of person.
Well,
hi, Tony.
Well, thank you. I feel like I got a lot to live up to now.
Well, you do a lot, and so by the time we finish this show, people will know that that introduction was right.
Okay, all right, great.
One of the things I learned about you when I was doing research for this show is you have your own personal philosophy that says live every day like it's your first.
Yeah,
Tell me about that.
Absolutely. That's just like a basic philosophy that I like to do. Is just like, you know, a lot of people say you live every day like it's your last kind of thing. But I'm like, it should be like your first day. So every day you're starting over. It's fresh, it's new, it's exciting. It's an opportunity to do something new or to correct something that you know, a lifestyle or whatever that you've had in the past. So every day is a new beginning, a new chance to do something. So live it like it's your first day. So you wake up in the morning and, you know, forget everything you've done or don't rest on the laurels of things you've done. It's like, what am I going to do today? What can I possibly contribute? And let's enjoy this life that we have.
I think that's a wonderful philosophy, and I'm a breast cancer survivor, and that's I've sort of adopted that same thought and idea myself since that experience, and I think it's the best way to approach your life.
I think a lot of times we just forget to live. You know, we exist every day from day to day to day, but sometimes you just gotta live, you know, and do the things you're put here for.
All right, now, you've been really active in revitalization of downtown Lynchburg. And as a matter of fact, I understand that you're called Mr. Downtown. Can you tell us how you got that nickname?
I don't know. I kind of, it's kind of funny how that came about. But I get joked a lot by some friends of mine because I live in Forest. I don't even live downtown or in Lynchburg, but I've been working downtown at Holiday Inn for almost 3 decades. So, and I spend an enormous amount of time in this area, in the O-FOEwear. So, you know, I've walked these streets and I know these people throughout the years, and so a lot of people just consider me somewhat of an ambassador, I guess, for downtown. And then when I did the Get Downtown music video and all that, so it's just kind of a nickname. I'll be walking around town and people will yell out, Mr. Downtown. It feels kind of cool, so I'll go with it.
Were you born in Lynchburg or in this area?
I was born in Lynchburg, and lived back and forth between here and New York from ages 3 to 15. So I was having to adapt to the North and the South, and, you know, talking proper, talking country, talking Southern, you know, getting teased both ways. No matter which way that I went, I was talking the wrong dialect. So I had to adapt to certain things, which I think has benefited me now, you know, and later in life. But yeah, I was born Lynchburg native, born and raised right here.
That's you know, the New York thing, that's pretty interesting, I think. That it certainly gave you a broader outlook.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, being a little boy from a little town like Lynchburg and then being exposed to Manhattan and Brooklyn and Queens and all that as a kid, seeing that there's a whole huge world out there, but able to come back to Lynchburg and develop friendships and contribute to my city, you know, so it's all great.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, on the 7th of, was it 7th of September, the 4th Get Downtown, I guess it's a festival, is that what you would call it?
Yeah.
Happened right down here, and I know you're really involved in that.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what Get Downtown is? And
yeah, I think I wasn't there, you know, a lot of people think that the festival is some kind of way like came from the song or vice versa, and really they're not really connected directly. It's similar name, same name actually, but the exclamation point is in different places, you know, and the festival is after Get, and then the song is after Downtown. So, but I've actually gotten involved. This is my second or third year. I can't remember. I missed the first year I wasn't actively involved. I was at the hotel and I sent some people down to walk through the streets and everything, but I wasn't really involved in the festival. But it's a way to get, started out as a way to get college kids to to welcome them back to Lynchburg. So they had a big street festival with all things cool that the college kids would like. What has happened, though, I think it has developed into a festival that everyone enjoys. Right. You know, that you see just as many families, you know, older single people, as well as the college students, all mixing together for one big street festival, and it's like one of the best things that you're ever going to see in this area, I imagine.
And my husband and I went with 4 other people. Mm-hmm. We had a wonderful time. And
you went with 4 other people.
With 4.
4.
Right. That's going to
be
my
4.
That's going to be my next question right now. But we went with these other 4 people.
Okay.
And
I did. I saw you there. We had a great time.
Well, we had a really good time. And one of the things that I said to you earlier is that with the number of people that were there, how many people?
I think they said around 8,000.
8,000 people. That's a lot of people.
I think it was
downtown.
8 to 10. I always like to round up high. I think it was more than 8, but I think the official count they said was around 8,000.
You know what I think is so cool is that here are all these different age groups: college kids, older folks, middle-aged folks, little kids, and everybody got along. There was not one incident that whole evening, and I just think that it's rare to get that many people together and not have somebody step on a foot and want to throw a punch.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, yeah. And the organizers of that festival should be really commended for, you know, coming together. I know several entities that got together to put that thing on. It's not just one driving body, but it's a monumental task, and that's why it's not done, you know, every week or once a month, you know, once a month kind of thing. But it's actually, you know, annual is very good. We look forward to it.
Well, I just thought it was wonderful, and I can't wait to go back. Now, we keep tiptoeing around this O-FOE thing, and that was a question I had later, but just tell us what O-FOE means.
Well, when I did the Get Downtown song.
Now, you wrote that yourself?
I wrote the song myself, and actually, let me rewind a little bit. I was sitting in a meeting with some people, and we were discussing, like, what can we do to make downtown cool or hip, or people might want to come to it. And you know, I was referencing back to when I was a kid and growing up, and I lived in Rivermont, and that was the 24503, and there was a certain connotation to be where, like, you know, you're from the 03, and it's kind of like the whole 90210 Beverly Hills kind of thing. So I was jokingly said in a meeting that, you know, well, maybe we should, like, brand, you know, we should go with that zip code, the 24504, but we should make it cool. Let's call it O-FOE. So everyone kind of laughed and brushed it off and chuckled, and I went home that night. And I started thinking, and I had a brochure that was Lynch's Landing brochure that had Get Downtown on the front with the logo and everything. And I opened it up, and there were a lot of all the little businesses and shops and things, some that I didn't even know existed, you know. I'm like, all these places are downtown. And just so happened I had recently started recording music with my family. We got a few songs and things out, and the producer sent me a track that he just said, hey, here's a nice beat, maybe we can do something with it. And so I'm sitting there and I'm looking at all these things, and something just pops in my head and says, get downtown, get downtown. So I turn the track on, and then in that hour or whatever, I wrote the whole thing from sitting home, bored, you know, 1:45, bored, nothing to do. And so I called him up, and it had to have been 11 o'clock, midnight or whatever, and say, let's go to the studio right now. I got this awesome thing, Get Downtown. It's about Lynchburg. I think people will kind of like it. It's a fun thing. Let's go do it. So we went in the studio and knocked it out that night, like till 2 in the morning. I took the track to Lynch's Landing the next day, let them listen to it. They flew off the handle about it. I said, we got to make a video. So in the song, I referenced, let's go to the O-FOE in one little phrase. So it just started steamrolling from that point. And people were like, what's this O-FOE thing? You know, and everywhere I would go, people were like, what's the O-FOE, O-FOE? So that's where that was born, and it just kind of took on a life of its own, and it's been phenomenal for me.
You know, the song itself, if you hear it once, it sticks in your head, and you walk around singing it for the next 2 or 3 days.
I know it is kind of catchy, you know, and I didn't intend, you know, I always call it like the little song and video they could. It's like we just did it thinking this is a little bitty thing that it's a novelty item, so people would have some fun with it. I had no idea that it would spawn like a whole big industry of like T-shirts and, you know, logos, and I think Michelle at Urban Merchant has O-FOE dish towels that you can buy for your home, and so it's it's taken on a life of its own, and I've pretty much thrown it out there and said, hey, people, use it as much as you like, you know, because it's more now than just a saying or song. I think it's a movement.
Right, it is.
I kind of like that.
And in the video, you went into the different shops downtown and did a little spot with the shop owners and the people who worked in there. And that was harder than you would think it would be, honestly. When we started thinking about the videos, I'm like, okay, well, we're at this place, we're at this place. We really need to go to these places. So to go to all of those places and say that one line, cut, you know, pack edit up, and then go to the next place. And we shot that on a Saturday where it was 101. Oh, hey. And so, but you can imagine, so some of those shots where you see me on the street and I'm rapping, I'm like, inside I'm saying, what the heck am I doing? You know, you could probably see the sweat coming through the camera, but great time, great fun. I'll definitely do something like that again. But you know, it's so complimentary to Lynchburg, and it makes people who see it want to come downtown and see what's in this shop, see what kind of confections they can get here. Right. You know, and I just think it's a cool thing that you did. I appreciate that, yeah. Now you do other videos, other music videos. Tell me about that. Yeah. Well, we do, the whole thing started with the music and everything with my family, because I'm a big family man, and you know, I've got my wife and our children, and I've got them all rapping in a couple of videos and stuff like that. We just like to have fun like that. And one of my phrases, you know, the family that plays together stays together. So we try to have a lot of fun. And it's a good way to spend time together and do things that are really kind of out of the ordinary. And then, you know, so we decided to go in the studio, make records, and go shoot music videos and put them out there for entertainment purposes, you know. And I think it's, a lot of people look at it as entertainment, and some people look at it as it's inspiration for them to like spend time with their families or to be better people. And people come to us with comments like that all the time, and I'm like, fantastic. I think that's great. Now, I didn't ask you about O-FOEwear, but please tell me about O-FOEwear. Well, this has to be, I have to give most of the credit for that idea to Michelle Thomas down at Urban Merchant, and it's Michelle Thomas Rivers. And I had gone, after I did the video and shot the video around town, she said, hey, you know, you really should make a couple t-shirts and put them in my shop. At that point, I hadn't thought about that. I'm like, good idea. So I went and made like a small bunch of t-shirts and took them down there thinking, okay, there'll be a little novelty item. So a couple of weeks she calls me and says, they're gone, I need some more. Wonderful. So now I'm in the t-shirt business. Like, how did that happen all of a sudden? So I go to Cotton Connection, and they start running me off shirts. And now I have them in several locations downtown. The Urban Merchant, the new Summers Frost Boutique on Church Street. Catalano's has some, and I know I'm missing somebody. Forgive me for that, but it'll come through. But my plan is to have them in shops all up and down that'd be great. Main Street and Church Street and Commerce, because I think that there are, you know, Lynchburg souvenirs. So when people buy the shirts and they go away, we have a wedding party coming in 2 weeks that actually have pre-ordered like 30 shirts for all of their wedding parties, and they're gonna put them in their hotel rooms. So when they get here, they have O-FOEwear in their room. To me, that's like really, really cool, and I didn't plan that, you know. It's one of those things that's taking on a life of its own. I think that's just, it shows you right there how you can start something and it just takes off. One person can do a lot by just an idea and the energy to try to make something happen. It doesn't take acts of Congress and committees and stuff all the time. Sometimes it's just power of one. Yeah. You know, the hotel, the Holiday Inn downtown, since you've been manager, it really has turned around. My husband and I stayed there last month for a night, and we were amazed at the number of people that were there, and had a wonderful breakfast in the restaurant. Good. What have you done? Anything specific to make the business flourish like that? I don't know. I have to give a lot of the credit to the staff. A lot of people have been there. Like I said, I've been there, this will be my 28th year there. I started in '84 when the hotel opened as a dishwasher. I found myself out of work with a wife and a child, and
They offered me a job as a dishwasher that I said, no, I can't possibly take a job like that. And my wife said, oh, yes, you will. So I have to give her all the credit now for when people ask me, how did you get started in the hotel business? The wife did it. She said, yes, you're going to take this dishwashing job and you're going to stick with it. And so I remember like my first day there saying to everyone there, don't get to know me. I don't need to know your names because I'm only going to be here a week till I find a real job. You know, and so here it is 28 years later, you know, I've just worked my way up, continuously changing positions. And I don't know, it's just I think that running hotel, that kind of thing, and hospitality comes natural to me, I think, in a way. What our youngest son works there. He's there right now working the front desk, and he has that same thing about him.
Great.
That it's a natural way of being hospitable. And I think if you can, you know, turn that and put it in the right direction, because people have to remember that hotel business is a service industry.
Right.
It's not glamorous, it's not about being up here and all that. It's really, you're serving people.
Exactly.
And if you have that mentality, you can go far in that. So I just think that that persona and that energy that I exude just permeates through my employees, and they're the ones that really make that happen.
They seemed very happy, very eager to help
that's
and to please when we were there.
That's a key to any organization, I think, is to make sure that your people are extremely happy and they'll do well for you.
Yeah. And let me get back to Camm Family Entertainment.
Okay, all right.
All right, tell us what's involved with that.
Oh my gosh, there's so much. Sometimes I don't know. I have a website and I put a calendar on there of things that I'm doing, and my wife says, why are you putting everything? I'm like, that's not for people to look at and see where I'm going to be or what I'm doing. They can, but I need it. Because I get up each morning, I go to my website and I say, okay, what am I doing this week? Because I don't have a personal assistant or anything, and I'm terrible with having a binder or something like that. I'll never look at it. So we're doing so many things. We're doing it. We have we're in production for a TV sitcom that we're doing that's based on myself and the family. And it's scripted, and a lot of people thought we were doing a reality show, but we're not doing it. It's actually a scripted show, kind of like Cosby Show kind of thing with my real family. We're working on that. We're working on music videos. My youngest son is working on a t-shirt line of how to wear your best qualities, and so he's coming out with that. Our oldest son, he's a community energizer, and he's out there doing a lot of civic stuff. And our daughters, they're all active. So it's kind of like we're all doing things on our own that are positive stuff within the community. So we try to tie it all back into the one family umbrella, just to building our brand, you know.
You know, I just think that you certainly are an inspiration to other people in the area and could use you as a role model and your family. Mm-hmm. Now, who are the Camm boys?
The Camm boys, myself and my two sons, Anthony and Rocky. And that was something that we kind of stumbled upon that by accident too. And it felt weird at first, because I'm like, okay, here I am, I'm 50 years old, and I'm rapping with my 17-year-old son on a record. And I said, well, you know, it'll just be for us, and it'll be a novelty item, and then we can just enjoy that. And then we put it out there, and people started liking it. They started asking us to come and perform at events and things like that. So I'm like, well, maybe it's not so far-fetched, you know, to have father and son out there. So we've done some shows together, like in auditoriums and things, where we come out and we're on the stage like real rappers. He's on one side, I'm on the other, and we're passing back and forth. But that's who the Camm boys are. It's just me and my sons.
You know, it's great that you can do stuff like that with your family.
Yeah.
You brought me some pictures, and we're going to run out of time, and I don't want to not have these pictures. So, Phil, if you'll put those pictures up on the screen, yeah, Tony's going to tell us what they are.
DJ, that's I think that was at the block party for downtown, for the downtown residents that we had last year. DJ Ed, who was my partner in entertainment, he and I were having fun down there, and I actually just put the headphones on and pretended I was doing something for that picture, because I'm not a DJ, but we had a lot of fun that day on that one. Okay, and that's a promo for my radio show that I have on 93.7 KHF, which is located right here in the heart of the O-FOEwear in the James building. I was fortunate enough to kind of fall into having my own 1-hour a week radio show on KHF every Tuesday morning from 8 to 9. And I'm able to just bring on any guests that I want, talk about any topics that I want. We just have a great time. It's a lot of fun, a lot of witty banter going back and forth. And so that's a little promo that we did for that.
Do you also promote Lynchburg? Do you promote downtown Lynchburg on the show?
Oh, yeah. In fact, most of the people, it started out, everyone that was coming on as guests were people just downtown that had a business to promote. Cool. Or they had an event going on. And we've somewhat expanded it to the greater Lynchburg area. Now, like, people come on and talk about the Live Healthy Lynchburg initiative and stuff like that. But we still try to make sure we get like a new boutique owner from downtown in there just to talk on the radio about, here's your forum, let us know what's in your shop. What do you have going on? So that listeners know that there's really a lot of cool stuff going on downtown.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. We had fun doing
What time is it on, by the way? What time is it?
8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Tuesday mornings, every Tuesday morning. And that's just a silly picture of me at the station with, we call him Homie Simpson. and that's a little chicken mascot there for the station that you squeeze him, he makes a lot of noise. Yep. But I was on the air one morning and a friend of mine, Keena Wood, she called into the station and said, "Show me the Tony." So I was kind of like, that was a phrase that stuck in my head, so I started making T-shirts and just said, "Show me the Tony." I'm actually working on a song right now called "Show Me the Tony." It'll be kind of a fun, upbeat thing about me and the radio station. Always have fun with it. I always had the shades on. That picture is one of my favorite pictures. They did a feature on me in the Berg last year, and the guy that came and took the picture, Parker Michael Boyce, one of the greatest photographers around here in Lynchburg. He came in the studio and got that, what I call an iconic shot. I really like that. The microphone, everything is beautiful on that.
That's
and that was the cover shot for the article in the Berg. It's one of my favorites. Okay, there's the Get Downtown, Superman of Main Street. That was the promo CD cover for the Get Downtown song that we put out on iTunes. A lot of people did download it from iTunes too, so I was really happy about that. I would like to have
played it and shown it here, but we didn't have enough time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And next time. Okay, and then there's an ad we did maybe 2 years ago, I think, maybe celebrating the quarter century of hospitality at the Holiday Inn with our little iconic fountain in the lobby. It's kind of like, you know, the commercial with the gnome that you see popping up all around the place. Everyone that comes to our hotel that takes pictures takes a picture with that blue thing at the fountain. And it's just a little wiry blue art thing with water poured on it. And it winds up in a lot of pictures. One day I like to collect all of the photos that have that thing in it.
It's sort of a trademark.
It is. Yeah. And there's the Camm family. We're missing one of our daughters, our oldest daughter, Rhea. She's 31. She's not in the photo. But that's my wife, Jackie, son, Rocky, son, Anthony, and daughter, Camille. That was just a promo that we did for the Here Come the Camm's music video that we had out. Everybody's looking serious on that one.
It's a good picture, though.
And that was the poster for the Camm Boys' Bigger, Stronger song that we had out, which was like empowerment record, telling people, you know, that strive to be bigger and stronger and better than what your station in life is. You don't have to settle for that. You can always try to achieve and attain higher stuff. And that picture is from a soldier's play. I've had the fortune also of being part of the Black Theater Ensemble of Virginia. And I directed that play and actually starred in the lead role as the Sergeant Waters. I was really interested to find out that you do stage and film and directing. I mean, is there anything you don't do? I'm sure there's some things, but I'm trying to find those things so that I can do
dance.
them. I've done that too.
I don't want to know.
But yeah, being in the theater is a wonderful experience. It's really interesting to be up there, and it's just you and the audience, and you can mess up and mess the whole thing up, and that adrenaline gets to flowing. But that's one of my favorite pictures as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Roy. And that was from Fences, August Wilson's Pulitzer Prize-winning play. And I had the lead role of Troy Maxson. That was a pretty grueling role, and I studied for 5 months to play that. Denzel Washington recently played that on Broadway, so I'm trying to see his videos to compare how well I did. He's got me by a little bit.
It's just years of experience.
That's what it is. And it's us.
So and there we are, and you in the background.
Yeah, yeah.
I just think that all these things you do are so interesting. I wanted to ask you one more radio question. Do you have a large radio following that you know of?
I'm not sure. Since I don't actually run the station, I try not to get into the mechanics of the listenership and all. I just kind of go in, have fun doing my show. If it's 5 people listening, if it's 500, 5,000, it's all the same to me. So it really, I try not to. Sometimes you don't want to know the numbers,
right.
You know, because you're thinking, hey, thousands of people listening to me, and if Mike ever came to me and said, well, you know, we only have like 250 people, which I'm sure is way more than that, but that would kind of, I would start to affect the show, how I would think about it. So I don't really worry about that.
I think that's smart, a smart way to look at that. Yeah. We've only got about 3 more minutes, believe it or not. But I wanted to ask you, what's coming up in the future for you?
Oh, wow. If I only knew.
Or do we need another show for this?
if I only knew, I don't know. No, we're in the studio right now. We're working on, my goal is by the end of the year to have a complete downtown album. I want to have about 10 songs all relating to downtown that's on a CD that people can buy and just really listen to and enjoy thoughts of downtown Lynchburg. And we're working on a film. We've got some movies in the works, working on some TV commercials that we're producing. I'm just all over the place. Every day is a new adventure. Every day is like it's the first.
And that's the way it should be.
That's it.
All right, you're such a positive role model, especially for young people. I wondered what you would tell a young person who was sort of floundering and not feeling a direction, what they should do about that.
I probably would tell them, same thing I tell my kids, is find that one thing that you really, really love, and then focus your energies on it. You know, don't worry about what society says. Don't worry about the path that other people try to lay out for you. Figure it out. It's like, this is my passion, this is what I want to do, and then just go for it, like as if that's all the time you have is to do that. And I think people will turn out, because I think we're all here for a purpose. So if you find that purpose, then you're actually doing what it is you're here for.
If you could sum up your life so far, what would you say?
Wow. Don't know. That's a tough question. I just feel like I'm on Inside the Actor Studio now or something. I don't know, just probably adventurous. I've done a lot of things, and I'm just enjoying it more and more all the time, looking for that next thing that I can just say, I'm going to try it no matter what.
Well, Tony, I really thank you for being on the show. I think you're an inspiration for so many people.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to be able to present you on this show to people who may not know or have heard about you, but I can't remember, can't believe there would be anybody.
I'm sure there's somebody.
Who does not. So please,
thank you for having me.
I'd love to have you back sometime. And
absolutely, anytime. Just let me know
what's going on with you.
That's
Thank you again.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show and having the opportunity to meet Tony Camm. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. My next show will feature breast reconstruction following mastectomy for breast cancer. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.